Blog Talk Radio.
Hello there, Saints. I'm TiVo Mike, and this is the TiVo Mike Show. So how was your weekend? Oh, what's that? Come again? Oh, that's right. I can't hear you. This podcast is sure is a one-way street, huh? Anywho, on today's episode, for the benefit of other TV fanatics who serve Christ, we're covering the salary and raises of the main stars of NBC's This Is Us.
The CNBC show, Make It, gets 6 successful CEOs to share their best money advice they would give their 20-year-old self.
And we'll discover and discuss Fidelity's Investments research findings showing how much money Americans in their 50s have in their 401k retirement accounts.
So let's get this show started, huh? It's Monday, October 1st, 2018.
Talking about TV just to reveal JC, yeah. The TiVo Mike.
Welcome to our podcast, Saints. It's me here, TiVo Mike, and as always, I'm here with my friend, brother in the Lord, co-host, and our entertainment guru, Mr. Mike Warner.
What's going on, Saints? Welcome to another great show.
How was your weekend, sir?
Oh, my weekend was actually, and this is the first time I can say this without saying we did 14 other things. So I didn't do anything really big this weekend. Sandra had a little bit of a busy weekend because our money plan's coming into play.
Uh-oh.
But I did nothing. I slept till like 10. It was nice.
What?
Yeah.
You slept in? That never happens.
I know. And
this
so
is like, we should have like, big breaking news thing on our, you know what I mean? We should just have that going on.
Especially with sleeping in.
Oh my gosh. Well, let me just tell you, I am shocked by, let's get right on into it, the Fidelity Investments findings about how little people have in their 401k retirement accounts in their 50s. This is crazy. So this is the number, $174,200 total in their account, total, by the time they're getting close to retirement, 5 years away.
Wow.
I mean, if they have a home and card debt and everything else, by the time you pull the money out, that's not enough to even probably pay off your mortgage by the time you retire. That's silly.
Yeah, it's crazy to hear it, but in the
really
industry, it's known, right? So
yeah.
I work at a bank in America. I talk to a lot of clients, and there's some clients I talk to, and I praise them every time. So there's ones I talk to, and they're like, you know, I'm getting them to take a new credit card or whatever promotion they're chasing down.
Right.
And I'll say, oh, how much do you own your home? Oh yeah. You have a mortgage? Nope, free and clear. God bless you. That's the way to do it.
That is the way.
Because I'm talking to clients who have money.
Right.
And a lot of them some of them have a lot of money. So when I see they have, hundreds of thousands of dollars,
right,
but they're still paying a $3,000 a month mortgage, I'm like,
thank you.
So all that money you got sitting there, how about we pay that mortgage off?
Thank you. They feel like, I don't want to put that money away.
It's so funny because one lady we talked to, and she was in a little bit of a crunch.
Right.
I'm thinking, oh my goodness, this lady's in a crunch.
Right. She's going to finally
how we can help her.
Savings.
Yeah. I scroll through and I'm like, ma'am, you got $450,000 in this savings account.
Wow.
Oh, that's retirement. Yes, but you can't enjoy retirement with today's bills.
That's what I'm saying.
You
How
only
old
owe
was
$44,000 left on the home, right? So
just pay it
off.
off.
Why are we dragging out the $44,000?
Wow. How old was she?
She was 56, 57.
Single, widow?
A widow.
Scary.
But my whole thing, and that's the thing. So we started talking, and she was like, "Listen, it's like you're doing great. Like I understand right now your checking account was a little off, so your little."
And it's
like,
low.
But I wish I could be off and have $450,000 in liquid savings.
But not at 56. It's better
that
than
was
most.
That was her liquid savings. That wasn't
yeah.
even counting the Merrill accounts she had with bank. Well,
and how much was in there?
The Merrill account, so her average combined 3-month balances were, I want to say they were $240,000 or $200.
So she's looking at almost $700,000.
She's like right at the borderline of being like a wealth management client.
Okay, so she's almost at $750,000 if you add it all up together.
Yes. So for
Not the best.
but she wasn't even
decent.
overdrawn in her
Right.
checking. It was just low.
But remember, you're older, and that's when it costs more money to live. See,
Yeah.
even once you get rid of your bills, now your healthcare expenses are skyrocketing.
Yeah.
And you're dwindling down because most people ignorantly, and yes, I am saying that, ignorantly when they get old, take money out of the stock market and put it in savings and bonds and CDs, which are called certificates of depression. You leave. Let me be very clear, because to be unclear is to be unkind.
That's true.
Don't take your money out of the stock market ever. Ever. Well, I'm 82 and I'm Quincy Jones living in Bel Air and I need the money. Leave the money in the doggone stock market. You're not needing the whole nest egg. You ain't Oprah. Oh, I didn't get past one episode.
Oh.
You ain't Oprah. Even Gail lets her down sometimes. You ain't Will Smith.
Yeah.
You don't need $33,000 dining room chairs each. You don't need that kind. You're not pulling money out like that. You're only pulling out what you need to live for the year, and then the money stays in the account that you didn't pull out.
That's right.
That's always making money. The average return in the stock market since its inception, including the Great Depression and the Great Recession, is about 11.87%. So if you just pull out 8% a year in your retirement years, you're still growing the account by 4% net a year on average. And if it goes down, who cares? You're not pulling out the whole thing anyway. And things tend to turn around pretty well in the stock market. So
this is true.
Don't pull the money out. I'm nervous for her because all of her $700,000 is liquid. That's dangerous. That means you're not even keeping up with the inflation rate. I would be nervous. Again, much better off than most people. Most people don't have nothing. I think it was 70-something% have nothing when they retire.
That's so
it's
crazy.
like the 30% of the people. I think, can't find that statistic, but it's like 30 and 70. 70 were the people that retired with zero, buckus, nothing, zilch, nada aquí. Okay? For you non-Spanish speaking people, that means nothing here. All right? Nada aquí. And there's nothing in there, and you're living on vapor fumes. What you need to get is that book on 72 ways to prepare Alpo and love it with that kind of income. So, I'm getting nervous for people.
Dude said Alpo and love it.
So you must invest while you're in your earning years at work. Participate in your 401k. I don't want to hear you're putting in the minimum just to get the match. You need to max out your retirement in your 401k.
Yeah.
That means $20,000 a year going into that account. That's the ultimate goal. Now, before you can do that, you already know the baby steps. I'm not going to bore you through all that again. You need to be debt-free and do your 15%. But outside of that, once you pay off your home, you then max out all of retirement accounts. And remember, with the plan of the Dave Ramsey thing, you won't have any more than 7 years of a mortgage. So that you save 23 years of that mess. So 23 years of maxing out your retirement accounts, 401k and Roth IRA, you will retire average of $4 to $8 million in your nest egg, which would mean at that average ratio, let's say $8 million a year, that would be $800,000 a year if you just pulled out about 8%. I think you could muddle through life with $800,000 a year at 56, 62, 69, 83. There ain't no doctor bill cost. And if it is, that's a bad year. That's all. Next year you got it back on track again, and kids can go back to grandma's house. Okay?
When you visit the gloomy slums, tabernacling themselves in places like K2 and Ajekule, your definition of survivor is replaced by the gory scenes that churns your inside out. When life suddenly makes sure you were born into a circumstance that is circled with a stance breath against you, you know that the dream is a non-negotiable thing. Life that was supposed to be amazing becomes a maze. You are in, you are stripped of the strength and the sense to dream up lofty dreams. You just want to change your bed from the rice sack that's been consumed since 1964. You just want to change your pillow from the log of wood that Baba Fatima is still keeping malice with you about. 3. When you are born into the poverty of places like Mushin, you become a poster child, a muse in the political propaganda that makes the pot-bellied thieves responsible for this disaster feel good about themselves by giving back to charity. 4. When every day you wake up, you have to make your way up the sunken ladder of debris, you understand that a dream is not a leisurely affair of wandering mind. A dream is a non-negotiable deal that you have to put a ring on or die trying. You know that a dream is a backbending affair where uncut stone begins their journey into diamond rings. And if you are like me, naive enough to believe you can change the world, to you I say Godspeed. May your dreams come true. Sailor.
Welcome back to the TiVo Mike Show. We are the number one and fastest growing pop culture infused godcast in the nation. So what's this mess about? This is us here about the how much money Americans think they need to be middle class.
Yes. So I was looking at this and I was like, really? So the definition of America's middle class can vary widely depending on who you ask. For some, it's defined as certain attributes. If they're hardworking, thrifty, and humble.
Say that again?
So for earning a substantial salary, but not so much that you'd be considered rich. Which is funny, because I think you tell me I'm rich every episode.
Yeah, he's very rich, guys.
So Northwestern's Mutual 2018 Planning and Progress Study found that 88% of Americans believe annual income is a defining factor of the middle class.
Of course it is. What the heck else would it be based on? Color of your skin?
You better stop.
Sorry. So
Although 65% said that lifestyle and perspective also play a key role. Just over 50% of a survey respondents said that their earning salary of owning assets of between $50,000 and $99,999 qualifies a household as middle class, whereas 26% said $1 to $49,999.
Listen, if you're making $1, you ain't middle class. You need a middle finger. Listen, here's the thing what's going on. I like when they said who was middle income and upper income in 2016, and this got to me. I feel super rich now seeing these numbers. It says if you single, $26,093 is middle class.
Oh, wow.
Upper class would be if I made $78,281. I'll do that next year. Bless God in the name of Jesus. I'm claiming it. Hallelujah. But if you have another person with you, you need to make $36,000. If you have one child, then you have to make $45,000.
These are the numbers.
Children, $52,000. That's right. And then 3 kids. You know that This Is Us family. $58,347. Now I know Beth and Randall are making $58,000 a month probably at this point.
Well, let me ask something here.
They're Black House.
They're. Number 4.
Right.
Says $52,187 was middle income.
Yes.
That's scary.
Right.
You know why that's scary? Because so in my household, I'm the provider.
Right.
So
the bread
for
of
many years, Sandra didn't have to work.
Right.
And I was making less than that. Like I was making the 45 area.
Wow.
30,
With
I was
the
making between 40 and 45. Right.
And you made it.
And we made it exactly right. So I guess to me,
right.
That's why I agree that the definition can differ based on who you talk to.
Right.
Because now I'm making the 52, but Sandra's also bringing in like another 13 to 14.
Right.
So we're in between. We're past the family of 5 upper middle income.
Exactly. You're working your way up to the upper.
Yeah, exactly. So we're trying to get into this. But my thing is, if we was making it on 45.
Right.
Y'all people need to.
That's what I'm saying. Again, what people
you need to
do,
live your wage.
they don't act their wage. People immediately assume, you know what it is? People take their gross income and they don't tabulate take-home expenses, and people don't ask the question, can I afford that?
Yes.
They ask the question, can I afford those payments? That's all they look at.
That's
so
I get
you
it.
can get a lot. So you and Sandra could both right now, if you're making over between the 52 and whatever, she could right now have a Mercedes C-Class. You could be driving a BMW 5i Series because you would lease yours. You would lease it. It'd be $500 or something a month for your BMW with good credit. Her lease on her Mercedes would be about the same. So every month you're paying about $1,000 for those two cars. You could have at this point times 3. So let's go with 70 times 3 is 210. So you could have a $289,000 house. Yeah, about a $300,000 home, because the mortgage on that with good credit again is about $1,500 with all the expenses that come on with that, an additional $1,000. So that's $2,500 a month for that house. Another $1,000 a month for your car payments, and you just live on your credit cards and pay the minimum on that. That's how you could live, and you'd be living fine. That's what people do.
Oh my God.
And that's why they feel, oh, I don't make enough money. No, you trying to live like you Gail King. You can't call Oprah Gail and say, can you pay this payment?
You guys are crazy.
Most people think about payments. That's all they look at.
And that's the thing. See, I'm thinking payments. So I think payments on one thing.
Right.
My house, right?
Yes.
Because I know I didn't have $200,000. I'm not stupid. I know I didn't have it. Okay.
See?
So,
and I'm sure they qualified you
they
for more than you bought.
Oh, yeah.
That's
they
what
was
I'm
like,
saying.
listen. I'm like,
Yeah,
no.
they're adding a payment.
I ain't trying to be broke. We're going to go this way.
Yeah.
But what I do know is, like, so with the car, we already had the payment. So that is almost paid off. So
right.
Between the two car payments.
But your car payment isn't $600 a month either.
No, it's only $300 between
saying.
two cars.
So already even there, you're living less.
Yeah. Like, you know, I'm living my wage.
That's what I'm saying.
Told you, see, I guess for me, I want to be one of those people who say I'm taking a trip.
Right.
But I don't want to take a trip and come home to no lights.
Amen. Well, you can be one of those people and still take a trip to the bankruptcy court.
I don't want to do that either.
And that's where they be going.
Yeah, I don't want to do that
And it's only
either.
rich people who go in bankruptcy court. It's very odd. People driving up to bankruptcy court in a Mercedes.
And they want to put that Mercedes on that report.
Yeah, they're like, could I please? No, they wanted people off of it so they can keep it. Can I bankrupt it and keep the car? No. Whatever you put on the list, you're going to lose, sucker. Because it ain't yours. But that's really what happens. People go, well, I know when I take home $4,000 a month after all my bills, so I can promise up to $4,000 and stuff. That's what they do. And then they and then they buy that house, and now they need furniture. So what they do, they don't say, and buy a couch. They go to the couch design that only designs couches. And so that couch is $7,000, and they put that on a payment plan. They finance everything. Everything is financed.
And it's crazy because we bought
scary.
a couch and love seat. I was like, Mike,
right? But
you've been at work every day this week at 8. What are you do? I said, I need a new couch. They're like, what? I'm like, I need a new couch. So I worked 10-hour days or 11-hour days for 2 weeks. I took a little bit of money I had left over from everything with the house buying.
Right.
Because we had some small amount, like we had like a couple thousand left, but that was repairs I wanted to take care of.
Exactly.
So after I took care of the repairs, I had like $300 or $400. I'm like, all right, I'll take that $300 or $400, my 2 weeks of overtime.
Yes.
And we'll go get a new couch.
Exactly.
So this month, they just told me overtime's open again, and I really want... So bad. I'm so bad.
So
but I really want a TV. Like,
well, see, there you go.
TV. And in my living room, I think I deserve to have at least a 50-inch now.
See?
So I'm
That's what we call the Americanitis.
Gotta work full time.
I'm gonna start calling it Dreamitis.
Dreamitis.
Because it is. We deserve a lot. And that is the hardest thing, is telling us no. Adults devise and plan and stick to it. Kids do what feels good.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
And
that's the eternal struggle. Like, if I could, for me personally, if I can control the dude in the mirror, I'd be skinny and rich. Just saying. But the dude in the mirror, he messes up my plans all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, dude, we're going to do this much with the money. And he goes, yeah, at the time. Everything's agreed upon. Then, soon as he walks by something, there he goes. I just can't stop it.
The reality is, I've never wanted a bigger TV.
Right.
Like, I've always been good with the 32-inch.
Right. That's a big TV.
Seeing the living room layout and how big it is,
See?
I'm like, I mean, it still works for me. But Sandra's like, well, if you sit too close this way on the couch,
right,
you can't see it that great. And she's like, well, I'll just always sit here.
Exactly.
Like, but if we have people over, that's kind of awkward. Like, you guys sit on this end of the couch where I know you can't see the TV.
They can see the TV.
So, but
it's
my other
right
thing
there,
is,
unless they're looking up at the ceiling.
My other thing is it just looks so small in the space, like that. I'm like,
that's dreamitis.
Yeah,
because I'm sure those poor kids starving in Africa. You know, man.
Hey,
I just wish I had a larger screen. When they come over here, give my 80 cents a day. If they just gave me $1.10 a day, I could get a bigger screen.
It was like, oh, just put it on the credit card. I'm like, no. I've been doing good.
Right.
I got of my credit cards. I have 3 of them.
Don't you love how people are so apt to spread their poverty tips? That's how I'm gonna start calling when people tell me things. I'm gonna say, please, I don't need your poverty tips.
They're like, just put that in the card. I'm like, no. I was like, I don't need to charge it because then that's gonna delay how I get it done.
Here's what we're gonna start doing. Whenever someone gives advice, because people throw out bad advice like it's eggs. What we're gonna do is, the moment someone offers advice, I'm gonna ask them 2 questions. 1, what is your net worth? Or 2, whose net worth are you basing your advice to me on? And if they can't give an answer that's over $1 million for 1 or 2, then I'm flushing it down the drain. Because, hey, here's a tip. Find out what poor people do and don't do it.
That's right.
Peter simply went back to doing what he was doing before. He returned to the old self. But then Jesus shows up. What does he say? He says, feed my sheep. Feed my lambs. Take care of my sheep. And what Jesus is doing with those commands is he is actually giving Peter a new identity. He's saying, Peter, you are no longer a fisherman. You are a shepherd. And that's what Jesus does. When he calls us to follow him, he not only redeems us of our sin, but he actually gives us a whole new identity. He says, you are no longer slaves. You're a son. You're a daughter of God. He says it's no longer filthy rags, but now we are clothed in his righteousness. When we choose to follow Jesus, it's not just so that we can study the Bible more and show up to church every week. It is so that we can actually receive a whole new transformative identity because of his love and grace.
Welcome back to the TiVo Mike Show. We're now on Radio Public, so make sure you download the Radio Public app and listen to our show. Because if it's not listening on Radio Public, you may not be listening at all. Woo! That nice. I'm so excited. So CNBC asked 6 CEOs.
Yes. And this is one of my favorite questions, by the way.
Right? Well, what they asked.
What advice would you give your 20-year-old self?
Exactly.
And when I tell you, that is one of my favorite questions.
Wonderful. It really was.
So much so that I included it in my
inspired us to have this segment based on that.
Yes.
And just ask ourselves.
Well, and that's my thing. Like, right? Yes. So there's so many things I did now. And don't get me wrong. When I was 20, I want to say I was making some pretty decent money for a single male.
I thought you were getting ready to do a Me Too mea culpa here. And just, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. Oh
no, the reason I didn't report was... Just kidding. Sorry. Not funny. Too soon.
Too soon.
I will say, just because we brought it up real quick, this Kavanaugh thing...
Oh, yeah, the Kavanaugh.
Find him guilty. So, I know Trump picked this judge and da-da-da. Guess what, dude? He did it. You got way too many roundabout stories. To how you know these games and how you and I'm very confused about. Look at my calendar. I'm like, who writes crime on their calendar? But they found it. They had it.
Of course. The 1982.
He said, "I went to this party."
I'm like, who? White people have a whole different way of living. I have never once had a calendar and just said, this is what I did. So I met Shababa Kwee, and I grabbed her by the kitty cat. I just never, and then saved it for 30 years. Just in case one day, 30 years later, I'm asked by the Judicial Committee of the Senate these questions. Yeah. Anywho.
But I unfortunately, I agree with I guess you could say the left on this one. Is it the left who's attacked, like that's going on?
Yeah, the
because
left.
Her story, you know what it is? You know what did it for me? So there was, I try not to watch this garbage because it just messes with me politically.
It's bad.
But I watched the depositions of her and him. And I forget the person who tweeted it, but they said if that was a woman up there cracking under pressure, crying and losing range and voice changing, they'd say she's having a meltdown.
Right, or hysterical.
So the fact that the woman who was in fact messed with and raped,
right, she was calm,
keeping her composure, because I'm sure she's been in therapy
broke
for
it down
years dealing with this.
scientifically.
Thank you.
She was like, yes, because the brain. Well, how can you can remember this but not that? Oh, because the brain attaches to the trauma in the subcortex of the cortisol,
She
and
knew
it
it
sticks
all.
to the bomb. I was looking up Google terms. I was like, what the fuck did she just say?
And I will give her credit. She
I'm like,
must
is
have
she
spent a lot
talking
of money in
English?
therapy
Yes.
to be the way she was.
Right.
So I agree. Kavanaugh, although you had some great credentials, you out. That dude from South Carolina who got real upset, you was probably part of one of them circle jerks. So you out because you got real mad and they wasn't even coming for you. So I don't know what you so mad about unless you was in that room. It's time for you to get ready to have somebody get ready to take over your seat. Bow out while
yes,
you
they're
on
probably
top.
all junior educated rich kids. That's what Mike meant. So I bet you Kavanaugh would offer his 20-year-old self and say, don't do it.
Yeah, thank you.
That's good advice. I would tell my 20-year-old self, listen, do this. Look up this guy named Dave Ramsey.
Yes.
And go do what he said.
I would
if
even
I
take
knew
it,
about Dave at 20.
I would say not Dave, because there was somebody else that we talk about a lot that really did it for me. And
Susie?
I'm so mad I can't think of his name. No, let's be honest. What's his name?
Oh my gosh.
Jim Rohn.
Oh yes.
Jim Rohn would have changed my money only because his my issue with money was never money.
Right. Exactly. It's not a money issue.
It was always,
as Dr. Phil says, you can't solve money problems with money.
Yeah, it was never like an issue with how it was just the stuff I saw, and then because I had this attachment to, I didn't get to be that. I didn't get to do that when I was that age.
Yes.
Everyone don't get to do everything everyone else gets to do when they're that age.
Exactly.
So I should have been saving
Michael Jackson
more.
couldn't climb trees, and look what it did to him. I mean, we all have problems. We all are sad creatures. And the raise with This Is Us. So here's what's so cool. They all got various amounts during the first two seasons.
Yeah.
Second season, some of them got raises. Milo and them, they went over $115,000, etc. per episode. But then for season 3, right before the premiere aired, they all got together and said, listen, we need some raises because this is the #1 show. This is us asking for a raise. This is us getting a raise or whatever. So it worked out for 5 of them. They are now making $250,000 each per episode.
Can Lonnie Chavez be one of the ones?
Mandy, Milo, Randall, Kate, and
Chris
Kevin.
Sullivan. Toby?
No.
Why are they paying
He has arrhythmia. Talking about the big 3
Kevin
and the big 2.
Yeah.
And Kate, the fact that she's getting that when she killed one of the other people, I mean, that's pay. Does crime pay? Yes.
They said all the best things in life are free. They're full of You gotta pay bills. Gotta save for retirement. What are you gonna do? Become a drug dealer? Sell your kidney? You gotta get real. TiVo Mike can help you. TiVo Mike's money coaching program will help make more Benjamins and less Jacksons. TiVo Mike will help you deal with collectors, pay off debt, and get your life in order. Let TiVo Mike show you the money. Visit TiVoMike.com/money right now. That's TiVoMike.com/money.
Welcome back, Saints. Welcome back. Oh, the time we have on the preview. Listen, guys.
We have a lot of fun.
We're middle class, right? Most of us are. The biggest thing, even just from all the articles, it's still the same message. Live your wage.
Yes.
Make your financial plans on your wage. Not on what you want to make. Not on what your friend is making. Live your wage. Because, so broken-hearted right now.
We really are. So let's take a look at this. So and tomorrow's show, right? Yep, tomorrow's show we're going to be discussing This Is Us.
So if you have some free time on your hands and you want to show some love to us, which always feels good to show love to people you care about, right? Head on over to iTunes, leave a 5-star rating and a review, because we love reading what you guys think about the show. And we're also a fresh podcast on Spotify. So if you get your podcast there, check us out and tap the heart. As for the credits for the show, on the soundboard it's me, Mike Warner. All original music comes from Eric Dano. And thanks always to our podcast producer, Michael Jefferson. If you missed us in the next few hours, you can find us on social media. I'm at EGMike84 on Twitter. He's TiVo Mike on all relevant platforms, not LinkedIn. Now go take on the day, will ya? Thank you, Saints.